In this video, we're going to take a look at using the properties of quadrilaterals to solve for missing sides and solve for missing angles. Before we get started, you're going to want to take out your sheet of properties of quadrilaterals. Let's take a look at our first example. The shape below is a rectangle. Find the value of x. You'll note that x and 21 are both along the same diagonal, so that's important. As we get started, we're going to look up the properties of rectangles. So we look at rectangles, we note there are two properties for right angles, and the diagonals are congruent. Since we only have one diagonal, that isn't really helpful, but rectangles inherit all the properties of parallelograms. Specifically, we can look at the properties of diagonals. Again, we notice that diagonals bisect each other. That means that this measure is going to be the same as this one. So x is going to be the same as 21, which means x is equal to 21. Let's take a look at another one. The shape below is a parallelogram. What is the measure of angle A? So we would look up the properties of parallelograms. We notice that opposite sides are parallel. Not really helpful. We're looking for properties dealing with angles. Opposite sides are congruent, and opposite angles are congruent. So since D is 105 degrees, this means that A must also be 105 degrees. Because they're opposite angles, they are congruent to each other. So the shape below is a trapezoid. What is the length of its midsegment? Go ahead and look up the property of the midsegment of a trapezoid and see if you can find the measure of the midsegment of this trapezoid. So as you look it up, you'll note that trapezoids, their midsegment is the average of the base lengths. So if we're trying to find the midsegment length right here, it's going to be the average of 16 and 20. So you're going to take 16 plus 20 and divide by 2. 16 plus 20 is 36, divided by 2 is 18. So the measure of the midsegment is going to be 18. Alright, here's another one for you to try. Go ahead and pause the video, see if you can figure it out, and press play when you're ready to see the answer. For this one, the figure below is a rhombus. What is the measure of one of the sides? So we look up the properties of rhombuses. We notice that rhombuses have 4 congruent sides. That means 2x plus 8 must be equal to 6x minus 12. So we set up an equation. 2x plus 8 is equal to 6x minus 12. And we can use this equation to solve for the value of x. Let's go ahead and do that. We have 2x plus 8 equals 6x minus 12. I like to take away the smaller amount of x's from both sides, so subtract 2x from both sides, leaving us with 8 is equal to 4x minus 12. I'm going to add 12 to both sides, giving us 20 is equal to 4x. And since it's 4 times x, we divide both sides by 4, giving us x is equal to 5. Now we weren't asked to find the value of x, we were asked to find the measure of one of the sides. So we're going to take 5 and substitute it into either one of the sides. It doesn't matter since the sides are congruent. So I just chose the right hand side. You could have chose the top side. 6 times 5, since x is 5, minus 12. 6 times 5 is 30, minus 12. 30 minus 12 is 18. So the measure of one of the sides is 18. You could verify that by substituting 5 into the other side. 2 times 5 plus 8. And 2 times 5 is 10 plus 8, giving us 18 as well. It's a great idea just to make sure that we did our work correctly to show that the side lengths are the same length. In this case, the answer again is 18 for the measure of one of the sides.